Welcome. Can you guys hear me like way in the back? Welcome to the town hall for the Flux Capacitor. My name is Kate Perdoni. Some call me Katie Sleeveless. I work for the Pikes Peak Arts Council here in the region, and I also work here in this building for Rocky Mountain PBS. I'm a musician who has played at the Flux many, many times with a couple different projects. The Flux hosted our album release last August. I think there were like 200 or 300 people there, and it was one of the most beautiful nights of my life, especially in Colorado Springs. I feel like the Flux shows us what we all already know, which is that Colorado Springs is a vibrant, accepting, cool as hell place to live and to create. We have a scene here, and we have a community that is actively bringing people here from all over the world. And I feel we should be recognized for what we are, not undervalued by the prerogatives of those in city leadership who just may not understand what it takes to create and maintain a cultural community, especially for young people now in 2017. It would be a shame for the city of Colorado Springs to not harness the energy created by all of us in this room. I feel like there's a lot of emphasis on like what's the next big pothole, and no one is doubting the necessity of infrastructure, but what we're saying here is that art and culture and our creative community are also infrastructure and are just as important. This, the Flux, is what will keep people, especially young creative people, in our town and will help augment the energy. And augmenting this energy here tonight is planning for the future. The same way that, trying to negotiate which pothole is going to be filled next is planning for the future. As a musician, like a lot of you in here, I've toured all over the place, all over America and Europe, and the safe space that the Flux created are some of my favorite experiences playing music ever in over 15 years of playing shows. I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. It's not always easy in America to find venues that respect the music enough to have it be at the forefront of the show experience, and where the people organizing and putting on the shows are enthusiastic and kind and badass and have your back. And where you don't get treated like a second-class citizen for being an artist or a woman or whatever it is that you are. I'm going to start tonight with a brief overview of the Flux Capacitor. I know a lot of you know all this already, but there are some people in the room, some leaders, and some people from out of town who may not be as versed in the background. And then Brian Elio, mob individual, is going to make some comments. And then for those who may be less familiar with the inner workings of the Flux, or a DIY or DIT, do it together venue, these guys, the Flux team, they're going to talk about the daily operations and speak to the future of the venue, where things are at right now. And then we're going to open the floor to talk as a community about why we love the Flux and what we want for the future. You guys will all have a chance to give testimonials, ask questions, or offer your support in any way that you can. We're videotaping this entire night so that elected officials and community leaders who couldn't be here can still see the importance of the Flux and the huge impact this collective has had on our community. The news is here, various media writers are here, so speak your hearts when the time comes. The type of community created and supported by the Flux is hard to put into words, but that's what we're going to do tonight. So, some history. Yeah. So a little background, the Flux Capacitor opened in December of 2014 as an art collective and do-it-together punk venue, record shop, and gallery space within a warehouse of practice studios in central Colorado Springs. The Flux was started and existed to meet a community need for artists to have a safe space to perform and to grow our local art and music community. In 2 years, the Flux hosted over 500 shows with way over 1,000 bands from all over the world, including Romania, Iceland, Japan, Italy, Scotland, Germany, Brazil, Mexico, Canada, and every single state in the US. Prior to the Flux, touring bands, as you well know, would often swoosh through on their way from Denver to Santa Fe or Albuquerque. And as a OB spot without a bar atmosphere, the Flux focused entirely on the music and the artists, with an ethos of paying touring bands and local support at every show, which is also an anomaly in the music community, regardless of the amount of money that they made at the show. And these guys will explain how that is possible here in a few. The logistics of the Flux team involve an all-volunteer group who work all the shows, including people who work the door, who are cashiers at the record shop, who run sound, print flyers, and the street team to promote events. The Flux immediately became a crucial mainstay of all-inclusive, non-judgmental culture in Colorado Springs. Performances of punk, metal, hardcore, indie, folk, hip-hop, and everything in between were held along with art shows, community meetings, sock, clothing, and feminine supply drives for the homeless, a supplies drive for Standing Rock, raising funds for friends who had family emergencies and community projects and nonprofits. The music festival these guys put on every year, 7-1 Grind, which is completely supported and funded through local business sponsors and fundraising events, brings musicians from all over the world, and people have traveled from as far as Seattle, Arizona, and Maryland just to attend. So what I'm trying to hone in on here is the remarkable number of people who come to Colorado Springs because of the Flux. It's a real and measurable economic development driver, and a golden opportunity exists for our city to step up and help support something that is truly already bringing folks in from all over the world. These guys aren't just talking about it, they are doing it. Young, creative people, yeah. Young creative people used to leave Colorado Springs left and right because there weren't opportunities or places to express themselves, and now people are starting to stay here or even moving here purposefully to be a part of this community, to be a part of something, to be a part of this scene. The Astros and companies started this because they were sick of people leaving or saying that there was nothing to do. They are the change they wish to see, so thank you guys. Following the ghost ship tragedy, which was a fire in Oakland that claimed the lives of many young and all kinds of artists in the Oakland area, I'd actually just like to take a moment to have a moment of silence for the ghost ship tragedy and for all the artists whose ideas and love and tremendous creativity was passed on. Thank you. The Flux Capacitor, after that, along with dozens of venues all over the country, was targeted for fire code violations, and DIY spots, as you guys know, all over the country were shut down. And so the Flux was one of those casualties as well. And this team will tell you about how they're now looking for a new location that has proper permitting in place and is totally up to code in order to continue their journey of bringing art and community to Colorado Springs. I just feel like, you have to wonder, they knew they couldn't start another DIY venue or another, it is a DIY venue, but the way that things had existed previously, the next time they try to move that to a different location, there's going to be the same people looking and seeing what's wrong and shutting it down after show one. So when the going gets weird, the weird get legit, and that's where we're at today. And a ton of money has already been raised by you guys from GoFundMe and like 4 separate benefit shows that have taken place already for the next incarnation of the Flux. We've got a ton of momentum with local community support. People come up to us every day and ask, how can we help? Or I want to help, or I can't make the meeting, but put my name on the list. And we've all had meetings with tons of people that these guys will tell you about. And there's a conversation surrounding putting in another record store, finding a space that could have a cafe, art gallery, maybe an indoor skate park, or collabs with local art collectives, or obtaining a beer and wine license. So the sky's the limit right now. Think about what you want to see and even how you can contribute. And then in January, I wrote a grant with these guys for Meow Wolf, from Meow Wolf. Meow Wolf opened up $100,000 for DIY venues. They're in Santa Fe. If you don't know them, check them out. I'm sure you all know them. So we'll hear about the decision on that sometime after March 15th is when their applications close. And I'm actually going to send an update about this meeting and the video and everything to them after this so they can see that the momentum is still here. The Flux 2.0, as we all know, has enormous potential. Now that it's going legit, we need to be as supportive as we can. So buy these guys lunch, take them out, ask them what you can do to help them. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. To talk about what this future of ours collectively looks like. The power in this room right now is incredible. I can feel it. It's amazing. I'm going to give the floor to Brian Elio, or Mob Individual, local artist, musician, arts, everything. He's an advocate. He works for an architect, and he has also been showing up on behalf of the Flux to help get this show on the road. Thank you, guys.
Microphones are weird for me. Microphones are weird for me. If you've seen me play, I don't talk. But no, thank you for being here this evening. Kind of off the cuff, it's going to the Flux Capacitor. It's always fun. It's always whatever it is. But to see a lot of the people in one place at one time. For one reason, is pretty amazing. This is really cool, guys. I just have a few things to really say. I mean, after Kate, and I really want to get on to what we've been talking about. But Colorado Springs does have a rich DIY tradition in art and music. When I got here almost 20 years ago now. It only took me a few months to find a house show, and after that you find the other house shows, and then a number of years later there was the High Life House, which was a pretty awesome spot, and really the High Life House kind of set the bar for what a DIY music venue needs to be in Colorado Springs. We all saw it work for 4 or 5 years. And I know that Brian has been involved in booking shows and throwing DIY shows, not just for 2 years, but I mean, we're getting on to 10 years or so now that you guys have been doing this? So it's not even like they're new. They're very experienced, very professional, and they're really carrying on that tradition. In Colorado Springs, as Kate sort of alluded to, we don't have a lot of leadership holding our hands. It's kind of left up to us to do our thing, and not even in a DIY punk rock kind of thing, but a lot of our arts organizations are DIY organizations. Copper was started by a local person for a local need, and this is just more of that. It's exciting that they kind of want to not necessarily come out of the underground, but be recognized with all of the other arts organizations, as they all should. Like Kate said, it's the be the change mentality, and the Ostros and the Flux crew, they all saw the need, that we had for, it's difficult when you do wild stuff to find an outlet for it. And like Kate alluded also, it's nice that when you don't have a bar distracting you, you don't have, it's not going to be too loud for somebody, you don't have food, you don't have all of these things. Everybody's there for the art or for the music. And yeah, that's really it, I just want to get onto these guys. We've been talking a lot. There's still lots of things in the works. We did hook up with Concrete Couch. I know Steve, and I've been helping them on a few projects here and there, and they want to get serious about a collaboration. If you guys don't know who Concrete Couch is, they organize and help put together various art projects, but also community building. I mean, I've been with Steve, and he goes door to door, literally door to door. What do you need in your community, and how can this work for you? And so that's exciting. That's really exciting. And so, yeah, I guess that's it. You know, be the change. Thanks for being here. I will say this one thing though. Sorry. You know, when we're growing up as kids, you know, little kids, we always try to raise our kids, or we always hear, you know, be inspired, do something positive, look into your community, see what's missing. You know, don't expect somebody else to do it for you, and don't leave to go do it somewhere else. You know, for example, when I first got here, people were like, "Oh, I'm going to move to Denver. We're in a rock band. I'm going to move to Denver because Denver has all the venues." You know, these guys said, "Screw that. We're going to create the venues here." You know. Wrong track.
This is really cool. A lot of times they'll look at punks and metalheads and stuff and just think that we're derelicts and smoke pot all the time, which we may do, but we're still, we're good people, and everybody in this room I know has a good heart and is really important, and every time I'm with everybody I just feel something, so it's very, very important what we're doing. A lot of times when you're a young kid, you don't have an outlet. You can, you know, be it at school, be it at home, you know, you're just not understood all the time. And it's good to have a place to go with like-minded people where you can actually feel something and you can feel like you're not the only one there, you're not alone. And I think there needs to be more places like that, you know, just going to a bar, you don't get the same thing. So that's kind of what we tried doing with Flux, to have a place where everybody could go and everybody could be accepted and everybody could, you know, feel like they're really a part of something for that 3 hours that they're in that building. And we're going to continue to do that. Yeah, and as far as that goes too with venues, you know, it's easy to shut down places like this. You know, it's easy for a city to say, this is a fire violation, you can't do this. But what would be better is, in all towns and all cities, is to not just say you can't do it, help us do it. Help us have a safe place where you can actually do that, you know? If there's more arts fundings and more community centers where people can go and feel like they're a part of something, like, so much change could happen, but don't know if everybody wants that. What we did on how we did it, like play by play on my shows. So we all worked our regular 40-hour-a-week jobs. A lot of times Sean and I would book shows while we were on our bathroom breaks at work. And it's all right. And so we would do that, and then we come to Flux, get their load in 7 o'clock, load everything in, backline everything, get sound check, and do the show. Every show we did, it was all donation based, as many of you know. If you didn't have any money, it's okay, come and enjoy the show. Maybe next time you can throw in a little extra. We also had a bookstore, record store, zines, comics and everything. So, you know, if you come to a show and you're a little low on cash, but you got a CD that you didn't want, you know, in your car, you can donate it and it still goes to somebody else. That's the way we did it. And 80% of all donations went to the touring band. 20%, we just got 20% to pay for our rent and everything. But a lot of times, there would be times where there wasn't a whole lot of people, so we're not going to pay a touring band like $20 that drove here from, you know, wherever. So we would always go into our rent fund, pay the bands, and then divide it between all of us how much we owed. So we made no profit on this, but I mean, as you can see, everybody in this room, this is like way more than like profit. This is like important. So, thank you. The rest of the guys are going to talk, and going to show a quick documentary that you guys talk, Stay on the Street. So we're getting through this. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you so much for coming out. This is the whole reason why we do this is just to have you guys here, so we really appreciate it. I'm Sean Ostro, if you didn't know. I help do booking and promoting with my brother, as well as running the show and door. The whole reason why we did this is, it's exactly what they said. People always want to leave town and do stuff, and we want to make it in our own town. We understand there's like a big huge scene here, and we just want to make sure we can do it for all you guys. But yeah, basically, we just love doing it for the community. We like giving opportunities for younger kids to be able to come and play shows and make it a lot easier because it is really hard through bigger venues and stuff like that. So that's basically why we're here. I'll pass the mic off.
And I hope build a lot of stuff at Flux and volunteer any way I can. When I can, it gets extremely hard sometimes with work and stuff. But it's fun and it's great. And I love seeing everybody there and seeing all these sweet bands and playing with sweet bands and to me, Flux is very much like Brian was saying. It's a place for people to go. That's not a bar. People, would drink there and stuff, but that's not the emphasis of it. But it's a place. To me, growing up, not being somebody who likes football and stuff like that. You find other kids that play music, but it's very rare you find a spot when you're a young kid to go out and do that kind of stuff. And I love it when we have super young kids go out there. It reminds me of when I was a little kid, playing guitar. And a couple places in Pueblo that had shows, all ages shows and stuff, which were always a house. And how rad that was. But I love this. I love this community, and and I love these guys a whole bunch. So. Woo!
So I'm Caleb. I'm one of the I help do sound, doors, and as well as flyers. And I want to talk about how the Flux was a place of growth in general. And for me, it was a place of personal growth because it forced me to get out of my comfort zone. And I'm sure you guys can tell I'm out of my comfort zone right now. So it forced me to confront a lot of things, and I think it's made me a better person because of it, who's more ready to take on the world. It also forced me to learn new skills. I'd never done things like Photoshop or painting art or stuff like that before the Flux, and because of the Flux, it motivated me to learn a new skill and to progress as a person. And it's just changed my mindset. I've become more community-minded and just aware of different groups of people throughout the city who, like the Flux for the same exact reasons I liked it. And through that personal growth came community growth with it. And like these guys, I didn't know these guys pretty much at all before the Flux, and these guys are now my family. In fact, most of you, there's probably less than 5 of you who I knew before the Flux. And now I see so many of my closest friends out there, and it's, whew. try going to a bar, not buy a drink, and then become best friends with the bartender. It's not gonna happen. So we've seen people meet each other for the first time at the Flux, and then start bands, start zines, start collaborations of different things. So many people have started different things because of a space that gave them an opportunity to meet other like-minded people and to showcase what they wanted to do. And that's all we wanted to do. We want to have a space that lets anyone showcase what they want to do. And that's what the Flux meant to me. It was a place of growth and just sharing how you've been growing as a person and a community.
I'm Josh. For those of you who don't know me, I play in a couple bands here. Obviously work with Flux. Prior to knowing these guys, I didn't really have a lot of friends that were, or at least that I knew, that were into the same type of music that I was into, or the same things. A lot of them did what Brian Elliott said and moved up to Denver, so I was kind of stuck here without anything. And I met Sean and Brian, and they kind of showed me that there was this community and that they wanted to build this community. And yeah, fast forward to now, they've become my family. A lot of people here, most of you guys have become my family, and it's really cool to just see kids that kind of came on from similar situations where they didn't really know anybody or have anything to now have a place to go to. And now I have little brothers, little sisters, older sisters, fake dads, fake moms. So yeah, I don't really like talking, so I'm just going to say thanks to all of you guys, most importantly, because really we just gave you guys a place to go. You guys built this scene, so thank you guys for that.
Hello. One, two. Hello, my name is David Gonzalez. If any of you don't know me, I've worked with the Flux for 2 years now. And what the Flux really means to me is that we are a community. We come together to listen to music. We all appreciate the same things as we do as musicians or as artists. But the really thing that stood out to me is watching people's faces walk out from shows. That was always the thing. Like, that was more than a paycheck or anything like that to me, because it meant something. They would always come out with these wide-eyed look on their face, like they just saw the greatest thing in the world, which it is, which it was, and it is, and it will always be. And the best thing about the Flux was that, you know, people found solace in us. You know, people could come and be the person who they wanted to be. They weren't just someone who, you know, 9-to-5 job, dead end, you know. They come here to have fun and to let that steam off from the day. And to me, I can't say anything more than I just love the place. It meant so much to me. I have this new sense of dysfunctional family that but, you know, in the end of the day, we're all friends and we're all family. We care about each other, and, you know, yeah, we wouldn't be nothing without you guys either. You know, you guys literally made us. We're just here to open up the doors, man. And I love you guys, and thank you guys for coming out, and I appreciate it. And I'm really bad at speaking, so.
My name is Quentin, and I've been volunteering at the Flux since December 2014, and I was 17 at the time, and I didn't really have an awareness of the community or really like any idea of anything going on in the Springs. Like, I was kind of one of those kids who thought it was like dead everywhere with nothing going on, and when the Flux opened up, it was like a slap in the face, and it was just like, hey, all this stuff's going on. And yeah, I don't know, I just love the place very much. I'm really bad in front of crowds, so thanks.
You bastards, quiet down over there! Okay. I can tell that this
This town has been like dying for a place like this for a long time. I expected it to go like here, and it went like, like way bigger than this.
Yeah, it just seriously blew up, and
It's really created a real sense of community that we've always wanted. So, introducing ourselves, I am Brian Ostro, and this is Sean Ostro.
I'm Sean Ostro.
Yes, and we run the Flux Capacitor.
It's a release for sure, you know? It's an outlet. If you're having a bad day, you go to band practice, you play really nasty, loud, heavy music, and it translates to like an outlet for aggression. It's awesome.
Everybody that's playing music, like more underground music, we're doing this for the same reason. We don't like a lot of the way the outside world is sometimes. You know, the world sucks sometimes, and we all use it as a positive outlet to get out our aggressions and our emotions through music.
Favorite part about the Flux, me and my friends could just like hit each other in the head and just like at the end of the show be like, yo man, that was tight, let's do that again, you know? Okay, craziest story I had here. One time me and my friends, we were just like headbanging, you know, he was in front of me and I was behind him, and we like got up tempo, and I cracked my face like right in front of his face, and like my nose just like exploded like a ketchup packet, dude. It was terrible. You know, really simple stuff, really fun stuff. Fun for the whole family. I recommend it, 10 out of 10.
DIY, you know, it's short for do it yourself. It's, you know, growing up, everybody's always like, oh, you're gonna get a record deal, oh, you're gonna get this, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, I'm gonna do it myself and work hard for it and understand it and value it. And it's not about that huge, you know, profit aspect of it. It's about the community working together and making it what it is. DIY is really cool, but DIT is better. Do it together. And that's kind of what we really try to do here.
Sometimes we clash a little bit, but we always get over it.
It's okay, we get along.
Oh, it's so good.
And then I met Sean, and like I hung out with him for a day, and I threw up on his shoes actually the first time we hung out. And after that, I knew like, yeah, these guys are cool. I need to stick around. I was telling him how I threw up on your shoes.
Oh my god! He threw up a full burrito. It was on the ground and it was
really sick.
It was exactly like a burrito.
You know, this is the punks place, this is the hip hop place, this is the indie rockers, it's, you know, the folk people, it's everybody, it's for everyone.
Never knock someone for liking something that you don't like. If you have a problem with it, show something better. But never talk down to anyone for what they like.
And that's what's cool is we have a diverse town where a lot of people like are into all kinds of things. Like you see metalheads at hip hop shows all the time. You see like rappers at fucking metal shows, and it's great. So I love this town.
And that's the thing that I love about Springs, because we're all in this together. Everyone's performers, everyone's doing stuff, you know. So it's like, it's great to collaborate. I think everyone should be able to expand their stuff when it comes to music.
You must be fucking proud of what you have. A lot of places don't have anything like this. This is an amazing venue. You should fucking cherish it. I will.
We're in complete understanding that this place will not last forever, because DIY spaces don't, but the idea does last forever, and it should carry on, and that's what we hope for. So thanks to everybody that's been coming to this and making it what it is.
It's Flux Capacitor.
is a Flux. If you come here, you know. If you haven't been here, then get your ass down. That's that.
The Flux is an absolute necessity in a place like Colorado Springs. Well, in any town, in any city, any state, any country, the Flux needs to exist.
The Flux means like everything, honestly. Not to be corny as fuck or anything.
No,
but,
dude,
like,
that goes for all of us.
like I'm like this is it. You know.